Hello, my name is Jeremy Dixon and I run Hazard Press. I'm going to be talking about making my own collages and also incorporating collage techniques into my own artists' books. I tend to feel that we are living in an age of collage. Everything is collage. Everything is crashed together, forced together, crumpled together, bits taken from somewhere else, added to somewhere else to make a new whole. So for me, collage is actually reflecting the world as it is now. Collage is a very democratic art form. It's cheap, it's environmental, it's reusing old books, magazines, newspapers. It's also open to everyone. And the tools you need are very simple. Here are the ones I use. So my trusty cutting mat, metal ruler, bone folder, scalpel, and glue. So my history of collage really dates back to the 1980s, where I first started making scrap books. So this is one of them, one of the pages from my scrapbooks. And it's quite interesting. I've recently used some of those pages from my old scrapbook to make new little artist books that contain those pages. So it's kind of going full circle with a collage. So from scrapbooks, I then started experimenting with cutout paper collages. So these are a couple I made. This one's based on some ballroom dancers, and also I did a whole series of figures of people that I saw out in Bristol on the club scene in the 1990s, and here's one of those. So that's kind of my history of collage. I'm not going to go into the whole history of the subject itself in this talk. I would recommend this catalogue, which was produced for an amazing exhibition that was held last year at the Edinburgh Museum of Modern Art. And it contains kind of the whole story of collage throughout art history. So I'd really recommend that. Collage started to play a larger role in my work in 2017 when I ran a project called 52 Books in 52 Weeks, where I made a small, unique artist book each week for the whole of the year, using as the cover, a card from an oversized pack of playing cards. So here's a little one. So this was made to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the Sexual Offences Act. So kind of opens and pops up. So it's using newspaper articles, got on the front and back, some images that I've actually kept in my pile of cutouts since the 1980s, and some of those gold stars as well. So quite a lot of these books incorporated collage techniques. Here's another little one called Remember, Yes, I, based on Adelstrop, first line of Adelstrop by the poet Edward Thomas. So here we have magazine advertisements with the intervention of hand stamping a little speech bubble and text on top. So from doing that, I had a whole load of speech bubbles and these little text bubbles left. And at the same time, I happened to find this box of penguin author photographs, postcards, in a charity shop for 99p. And so I thought, okay, well, we can combine those. And so this became a little set of authors, each saying flaunt it, with an edition on the back. And then from that one, I found another charity shop find of, instead of penguin authors, this is penguin covers. So to get this one, the reference, you really need to know your RuPaul Drag Race. So again, there's the box. Each postcard is handled differently with a different stamp. And in this case, somebody had used 10 of the postcards, so there's only 90 postcards in the edition. So working on those postcards with the penguin authors and covers sort of inspired me to then go and look at my own extensive collection of postcards and see if I could start to work on any of those. So the first set I did were these kind of Halloween figures, stickers on the face. So here we've got Emily Dickinson behind me. I think you might recognize that couple. Nice little fun project. And then, but then from there, I started to look at, you know, how to incorporate different images on postcards. And I found this really, as I say, really exciting, really enjoyable, looking at how you can construct another image from using different images. And then from there on, I went on to my larger collages now, which you can see at the back. So these are made in a slightly different way. This is where I will collect images, either from a magazine article or a set of images that I've already collected from somewhere else. And then I horizontally cut them into slices and then reincorporate them. So this one was based on Divine. Here's one on Naomi Campbell. And I found this really exciting way to do it, a way of kind of doing something with all the images that I'd managed to keep all over the years and create something new, something vibrant, something that changes. I kind of like the little bits of text that you can add, the kind of shadow images where your brain connects the different slices together. And I've been working on these techniques for a while, looking at how you can combine different images, different photos. Again, I have to be kind of inspired by the subject matter. So this is a collage for Pedro Almodovar. After going to see his latest film, Pain and Glory, also kind of recognizes the film In Bed with Madonna, which has the infamous scene where she crashes one of his parties. So I liked the idea that these collages can contain lots of different stories. Did a whole series on the Acropolis and RuPaul. You can just vaguely make him out on these images. So the idea is I would cut out all the strips first, and what I've found is where you decide to make that first cut is really important, because from that one all the other images slide off. So then I would collect all the strips, put them down on the floor, rearrange them, come up with an idea, have a look at it, leave it for a while, come back to it, perhaps rearrange it again, and then finally come and stick them together. And it's quite nice. For example, these images have the same background of roses. So I found a really big, lovely picture of roses, so I could incorporate them into these. So that's where I'm kind of going with my collages at the moment. So I'm working on small scale postcards and then these larger A4 kind of icons, I suppose, icons for myself, collages. And they're very exciting and inspiring for me to do. And it also reminds me of the cut-up technique which the Dadaists used to create found poetry back in the 1920s. So I think there's a real kind of overlap between poetry and image making, text and pictures. And I really think, again, collage allows, through the expansiveness of what it can allow you to create, it allows you to make these quite interesting amalgamations. So finally, I just wanted to have a look at one of my artist books that includes quite a lot of collage. In fact, it has the word collaging in the title. So this is Collaging Ken and Joe, which is my tribute to the playwright Joe Orton and his partner Kenneth Halliwell. They were jailed in the 1960s for defacing library books they'd smuggled out of Islington Library. They would then alter them at home with collage, smuggle them back into the library for unsuspecting borrowers to pull out and then to be shocked by the altered covers. And Joe Orton famously said that they were sent to jail for this because we were queers. So this little book includes a found poem, which I've taken from the text of the labels relating to some of these library books from the exhibition Queer British Art, which was held at Tate Britain. So it's a little found poem on the inside, and on my YouTube channel you can find me actually reading the poem. And so the contents are kind of a found poem, a collage poem, and then I wanted the covers to kind of recognize what Joe and Ken had done in collaging the library books. So each book has a tracing paper cover which protects a colour insert from an encyclopedia, which I have slightly altered with text. So this is Busy Fingers on the Crown Jewels. And it was a gift from a friend who gave me a set of these World of Knowledge encyclopedias. This is the only one that was in any good shape. The rest were all water damaged. So I carefully extracted all the colour plates from inside. So these colour plates are what make the cover. And then from the other pages, I rescued as many of these titles and text as I could. And so these are what I use to collage the cover. So as you can see, each one is going to be different. Each has a different cover. Each will have a different collage element to it, but the insides will be the same. So that is kind of one concrete example where I've used collage and the possibilities of collage to make each cover different for a whole edition of the books. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to this channel and leave a comment below. You can see more of my artist books and some of the individual collages for sale at www.hazardpress.co.uk. Thank you for watching and get collaging.